everyone, this is your girl Rosita, aka Miss Sip with Sip on Radio and Living Your Dreams with Rosita reality show. And I have Miss Melissa Alford in front of me. And Miss Melissa have a lot of things that is going on in her life. She have a nonprofit organization, so she wanted to be on my show so she could tell y'all about the things that's going on. And after the interview, basically we're still going to go into a second part of the interview to tell that something major that happened to her that I'm pretty sure a lot of you all seen on the news. So right now we're going to start the interview. So Miss Melissa, how are you?
Doing?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on your show.
I really appreciate you being here, and thank you for getting in contact with me to be on the show.
Yes.
So I want you to tell them a little about yourself.
Yes. My name is Melissa Alford. I'm a mother of 3 boys, and I also have my own nonprofit organization called Family Advocates of Georgia. And what we do at Family Advocates of Georgia, we work with families and children that are living with mental, emotional, and substance abuse challenges. And we also advocate for the LGBT population as well.
Okay, and right here is one of her signs up here.
Yes.
So how
His behavior just off the chain. So we both didn't know what was going on with him. You know, he was labeled the bad child, and back then we didn't know anything about mental health, what it was, how to get him the help. So finally, I met a group in Atlanta that was already training, you know. I went to Atlanta and got trained on what that was to be able to help my child. So he was diagnosed with bipolar ADHD.
okay.
So I was a working lady, you know, labor worker, but I couldn't work with his behaviors. Every day when he was 12, I get phone calls to come and get him from school because of his behaviors was so bad. So I couldn't work at all because of his behavior. So that's what started my business. I said, well, you know, let me help other parents like myself. So, you know, that's what got me started, you know, because I could not work due to my child behavior. And once I found out what was going on with him, that's what got me into this field. Because then I started educating myself on what they was telling me that was wrong with my child.
Okay, I know back in the day when kids acted out, they would say it was ADHD and, you know, put them on medication and stuff like that. Did you get a second opinion about it before you know, just decided, okay, this is what it is?
Oh yeah, we had plenty of help. He had different core providers. He went to a hospital. He had pediatrician. You know, everybody like, yes, this is what's going on with him.
Okay. So how did it affect your lifestyle?
Well, I was making $27.9 a year. So with that income, we struggled a lot financially because I lost that major income. And so it really put us in a bind.
Okay. So now, how old is your son now?
He is now 24.
Okay, he's 24.
Yeah.
So any like changes in his behavior and stuff, if he's still considered as the bad child, or, you know, did it calm him down?
He are calm a lot, but that bipolar still kick in.
Yeah.
So he still, you know, he used to be easily to get irritated, frustrated, anger. But now, because I used to take him to trainings and stuff with me, he know now when he's about to be triggered. And so he know how to now calm himself down. He know how to get himself some help. You know, he know how to control it a little bit. Sometimes it get out of him, but he got
Okay, so do you have any advice or any information to tell people where they can find that training that you're talking about? Because this is my first time hearing about, you know, the training part of it. I've known bipolar people and, you know, schizophrenia, but this is my first time hearing a parent say that they was able to go to training and their child was able to go. So could you tell them the place where they can go get the training?
Well, Rosita, when I was in, when I was first going through with my son, the state offered a lot of training. They offer a lot of training. I want to show you just a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to show you guys all of it, but if you can see this binder.
This is her
all the trainings. At the time, the state was paying for us parents to go to a lot of trainings. And I went to every training I could get. They sent me to Washington, D.C. every year. Now they done started using different states. But they don't have the training like they had when I went to get the training. They don't have it like this anymore. But there are some trainings. Like we have like youth mental health first aid. You could contact me and I could connect you with those trainings. But there's not a lot of trainings like this when I was going through with my son.
Okay, share some of your certifications with them, what you have here.
Okay, so
just a few of them.
Yeah, just a few.
Cause she got like 300.
Yes. Well, now as a parent that raise a child with lived experience, hear me, y'all. Parents, if you want to advocate for your child, and if you have the passion to help other children and families, the state now have where us parents, we don't have to have social work degree. We don't have to have master degree. We don't have to have bachelor degree. We got that lived experience.
Yes.
This right here is certified now, where it is now Medicaid billable. Did you hear me say Medicaid billable?
Yes.
That a parent like me can now bill just because my son has a mental disorder. Okay, so now we certified just by the lived experience. Okay, so this is through the state. Okay, this training right here is the one I tell you about that they got now that train you to learn how to recognize when a young person is going in distress. And it also teach you how to also call the police and what to ask for if you have to call the police. And so, and I'll be starting by offering support groups and stuff as well, where parents can come, anybody can come and get information about what's going on with mental health. And they'll get a certificate saying that, hey, I attend this support group. It's going to be like a mini training like these to teach you about mental health in young children, you know, and young adults that are trying to transition to adulthood, on how to help them. This is what this is for. Instead of them going to jail. So no, sir, we need a trained officer. Now the state of Georgia, which I am going next week to be trained again, another training to be able to train police officers on how to get people in general, anyone that live in mental health, emotion, behavior challenges, how to get them to a hospital instead of jail. So now the state of Georgia is training police officers. So you guys, if anybody if you think they having a mental disorder or mental distraction, ask for a trained officer. So I need a trained mental health officer to come to assist and assess. And now they have access to where they could call the crisis line. We also have a crisis line that you can call.
And see, those are the key words right there. Assist and assess.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So can you certify people?
I can certify them in youth mental health first aid because I am a certified instructor. And this one right here, I am an instructor where I can train. And it's just like the CPR first aid when you saving somebody's life, they're having a heart attack or stroke. But this is a 2-year certification and you saving somebody's life that having a mental health you know, distress. We don't use certain words, so that's why you see me making sure I don't use certain words. We like to say challenges. We don't use retardation and all that other stuff. Challenges, because we all have those challenges in life.
Exactly.
And it's not just youth; it's all of us, even parents. We have that challenge because we're trying to do what's best for our babies. and trying to get them the help that they need. This is parenting. I could teach parenting class. Anger management. I'm certified teacher anger management, you know.
I used to need that.
Yes, me too, baby. I need it now, y'all. This thing called life. Woo!
I'm better now, but I used to need that anger management.
I ain't gonna say I'm better, y'all. This thing called life. Remember life.
Okay, I am sorry, y'all. My designer was calling me, so.
Okay, so I received a individual community supportive award from this agency. I didn't know I received it. At the time I received this, I was helping a parent for free, and it was working and it was helping them. That's how my agency became getting contracts with the state of Georgia, because they see me doing the work for free for 2 years.
Yes.
Because I could not work because of my child behavior. So they said, okay, let us create grants and money for you guys to be able to get paid. So that's how I got all these certifications, because they created grants. And this is a reward that I received. And community person paid for me to go all the way to Florida to be trained with this man, because the state of Georgia would not let him come in to teach us how to advocate on our child special education. So I also go in schools. I help with IEPs. I try to find out what's wrong with little Johnny, if he needs assistance, if a big class is too much for him. I help create IEP so he can get into a small setting so little Johnny can learn, because everybody learns differently.
Exactly.
So, you know, like me, I'm a hands-on person. So, hey, I look at the kids like, hey, we got to find their strength. We got to work with them where they at.
Exactly.
Okay? We can't force them to be where we at. We have to come down to their level and work with them. And that's what I do. I go in and advocate that the school system work with them on their level. I go to court with parents when the kids is at risk of being taken out of home. Let them know that, hey, we're here to work with this family to help keep Johnny at home. So what we'll do, we're not Medicaid Blue yet, but we're working on that. But we will find agencies that will set their Medicaid to be able to help them as far as getting a therapist in place, get a paraprofessional in the home to help them to be able to be successful at home in their community.
Okay.
And so I also go out and teach social skills to children. I teach it to parents too. Yes, we need social skills too.
It's a lot of folks need some social skills because they didn't get it when they was younger.
Yes.
And you know, and so just because people are older doesn't mean that they know everything or have the social skills. When they was isolated when they was younger or whatever that went on, it tends to fall into to affect their social skills as well.
Exactly. Also, you know, again, the state, you know, they pay for me to do a lot of training. They sent me to New Mexico, for training.
Nice.
So, my husband went with me. So, because I don't like to fly, y'all. Let's get that off the bat. But I will. Everybody know I don't like to fly. So, unless it's like more people going, I'm not going. But my husband will go with me on where I would go if nobody else going. With my organization, you guys, we are national certified. So what that means is I could take my business and go anywhere in the United States. We do travel, but you have to pay the expense. So we do travel wherever the services are needed. I will come out and help you be able to help your family in any state. So we don't turn anyone down. And I know some states, they have, you know, struggle with help. I will assist you over the phone if you feel like that works better, to try to find resources in your community out of state instead of having me to come. So we can do that as well. But that's what my organization about, is helping families keep their children at home in their community and empower the families to take charge and what they need for their family. It's not about what I say they need. it's about them telling me what they need, and I try to help implement and find that resource for them.
Okay. So what advice would you give a parent that you feel as though, well, they feel as though their child is acting out a certain type of way? What advice would you give them, not knowing that they might have a disability? You know, they just thinking that they're bad. What would you suggest to a parent?
Well, my first thing, because of the way the system are now set up, I would have them to first go have their child evaluated. Because it could be anything that has to do with the food that they eat. Like, for instance, Fruit Loops can set a child off and have some type of behavior issues, or you never know what is going on in that guy, whatever, and it can set their chemistry off. I'll tell them, go get them evaluated first.
Okay.
Because that evaluation will tell a lot of things that's going on with that child. And once they get that child evaluated, I'm not too finding medication. Let's get that out there now. I do know that they have to have that medication at some point, but some medication not good for our children. I learned that
because
from my
they say
son.
it slows their mind down. It actually
Make them like a zombie.
Exactly. It keeps them from actually getting better. If they could get better on their own, you know.
Yeah.
It slows them down to the point to where they just sleep and they don't want to do anything else.
Yeah. And some of the medication make them have more aggressive issues. Like, for instance, my son can take Risperdal. And so I know that it made him more aggressive, and he tailed the school system, whatever. So once we got him off of it, he was fine. But then to keep me from being deemed in the court, what you call, because I would not give it to him, I had to give it to him again because the doctor said he needed it. So I gave it to him, and he went back to tearing up the school again. So I had to sneak and take him off of it myself without telling anybody. Do not do that, parents. That's a bad mistake. Because with this medicine, if you just take your child off because your child said that, hey, it don't make me feel good, you know what you're doing? Now we're doing other issues, and your child will start having seizures. And then you'll be like, well, why am my child having seizures? They haven't been having seizures before. They must have did something that put something in that medicine. You can't just take a child off of medication. And if a doctor said that your child needs medication, please be in compliance, because they will take you to court, and you will get tempted to court, and you will spend time in jail. That will happen because they will, and anything that your child do at that point. That's why I tell parents, get them evaluated, and that a professional determine what's what. And even though I don't agree with a lot of the stuff, but you know, it is what it is, because now, even with state of Georgia, whatever your child do, they gonna hold you accountable.
Exactly.
And if you don't give your child that medication, they find out that you didn't give that child medication, and the Johnny go out there and rob a store or kill somebody, guess who's gonna be sitting beside little Johnny in the bars?
And they can't tell because they can get him a drug test.
Yeah.
And find out, you know, have they been taking it or not.
Yes.
Okay, I want to go back to when you was talking about the cereal. The
Yes.
dye that's in the cereal. Okay, I know that, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows that, like, sugar
Yes.
will make a child hyper,
Oh, yeah.
but the dye will
Yes.
actually mess with it. Well,
Yes, the
we
color.
know dye that, you know, will mess with
Yeah.
you, but I didn't know that Fruit Loops
Yeah.
can actually...
That. Yes. I think the red ones is a trigger. In some
So I can
instances.
blame Fruit Loops for my reaction, my behavior when I was younger.
Probably so. But yeah, some kids, like one of my grandchildren, I cannot get him Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
I have 10 grandchildren, and one of them I cannot get Fruit Loops because then we're gonna be fruity all day. So you know, and I heard many doctors saying that cereal, a certain type of cereal, will interact with the child behaviors. So that's why I monitor how I gave my children cereal and sugar. Sugar sugar, hide the sugar. Please hide the sugar. My
I
son,
know.
my son, my husband drink coffee a lot, and so he kept coming up buying sugar all the time. And they were like, my son all bouncy around school, like all hyper and stuff, and so he couldn't figure out why he was running out of sugar. Come to find out, my son was sneaking drinking coffee. Do not give your kids coffee. Not in the morning, please, and send them to school. Don't do that.
Do not give none at all.
Yeah,
You know, because coffee
yeah.
is caffeine.
Yeah, and that sugar mixed together. Oh my.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you know what they substituting with now, giving their kids? Red Bull. Do
And
not
that's
give
not
your
good.
children Red Bull. Because then I got to come in and figure out what's wrong with Johnny. Then when I see Johnny drinking a Red Bull, okay, let me get up out of here. Because that's why. You giving him Red Bull. Now I finna go before I get myself hurt. I'm going to tell you before I leave though.
That's
take
worse
that
than
Red
giving
Bull.
them one of them
Yes.
yellow jacket
Yes.
pills that make you stay up and
Yes.
stuff. That's worse than that.
And one of my main things, parents, stop trying to be your child friend. Be their parent.
Exactly.
Be their friend after they grown out your house. Get them out first. But stop being their friend, buying them this, buying them that, just to tone down behaviors. You're making it worse. Because all you're doing now is training them to sit and play games behind bars.
Yeah.
Because when they in YDC, all they have is video games.
I call it handicapping the
Yes.
child, you know, because it's okay to get them what they want as long as they earn it.
Yes.
Stop
Yes.
allowing them to do any and everything that they want to do. They don't listen, they talk back, and yet they still able to get everything that they want. You know, you're handicapping a child. A lot of times when people raise their children like that and they're able to get whatever they want, whenever they want, they grow up and start feeling as though that they still can get whatever they want. Then they start stealing. They start
Yes.
robbing
Yes.
folks. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because they are used to not nobody saying no to them.
Yes. Yes. And they're not used to working for it. That's
Exactly.
why we have a lot of young folks now that's not working because the parents hindered them when they was younger. Girls don't want to work because daddy bought them everything. They expect their man to buy them everything. And you better give me this because my daddy did this and mommy got Johnny little games. And you know, now he expects his girlfriend that's sitting at home food stand taking food out of their baby's mouth, giving it to him. And all this result from when he was younger.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta try to work with these kids. And we cannot use, oh, I'm doing it because he has a mental health challenge. No. There are some kids that live with mental health challenge working for the state of Georgia. This one young man I work with, I'm so proud of him. I'm sure he gonna hear me later. His name Dave Kwashi. He worked for the state. He came a long way, and this young man lived with a mental health disorder, and he representing the children. The mental health diagnosis do not determine who they are, and we need to practice at home, guys, because guess what now? Just like I'm certified with this certification, guess what? When they get 18 to 26, they could be certified as well to go in and work and make money because they have that little spin. Not only they certifying parents, but they also certifying the youth.
Okay.
If they are where they need to be at and recognize that they have challenges and they are working on their own issues, the state will pay them. It's Medicaid billable. That's a job for them. Okay? And even if they on Social Security, guys, Social Security have vocational rehab that will work with anyone, young folks or adults, that get Social Security to have a job because they know that income is not enough.
Is that any state or just in Georgia?
It's supposed to be nationwide because vote rehab is supposed to help people like this. So, and Social Security is a federal. So, you know, I'm sure they have it all over the United States. So, but check into whatever state, or if you want me to check into the state, I'll check into the state, see if they have vote rehab. But I'm sure it's nationwide, but here in the state of Georgia, if you're on Social Security, you still can work. You could go to Social Security, tell them that you need a ready to work voucher, and they will connect you where you can still work and make X amount of income as well. You can only go over so much. So, with that being said, they disability do not determine where they at in life. They can go beyond that disability.
Okay. And a lot of people don't realize that when you get disability, you can still work so many hours and they will not cut off your check.
Exactly. That's why Vote Rehab come in place. Because they can't cut it off. And if you work so much, because Vote Rehab supposed to talk to the employer. They supposed to go and work with the employer. Let them know, hey, that they in our program and they can only work so many hours and whatever.
I think they can earn like what, 1,500.
Yes, I think so. I'm not sure the exact amount, but
yeah, but that's still good, especially people that bored and want something to do or some extra money. So that's real good right there. I have a friend that went through mental illness. Basically, right now she's still suffering from it right now. Because she contacted me like 2 weeks ago and she was like, Rosita, I want to come to Georgia with you because she suffered from it once before. And basically she's like extremely smart. I mean, like really smart. And she like snapped. And so her coming to Georgia with me for the first time when it first happened to her, we prayed together. I talked to, her grandmother sent her down here to me. So it was like I talked to her and she came out of it. And she wanted to start back working. And she always went to school full time and worked 2 jobs and barely got any sleep. And I was trying to tell her when she was like, Rosita, I want to start back working. I want to go back to school. I was like, don't do everything at the same time like you was doing once before because basically you was overwhelming yourself. And she started off with just school. I'm just going to go to school. And then she called me. She was like, hey, I done started working, and then next thing I know, she working full time. She was just supposed to be part time.
Wow.
Then got another job, did the same thing again because she can't help herself. She like to working and going to school and end up done flipped again. Went back into it again. So now she want to come back down here, with me again. So basically, once I get some things situated and stuff, I'm going to bring her back down here because, that's my sister. We're not real sisters, we're not blood sisters, but ever since I met her on the job, that's always been my little sister. So I would never turn my back on her. So, and I know that her being around me, I kind of like snap her back into reality because I'm like, hey, let's write a song, hey, let's sing, hey, let's do something, so... But I am glad that she still, even though I could tell the way she talked that, is, the mental thing is really there. But her talking to me, she is like she know who to come to.
Yes. And the good thing is that now you're connected. You're connected to me, and we can get her connected to people who she can really work by and flexibility. And be able to help other people like herself.
Exactly.
And get her trained where she need to be so she can be able to help other people and surround her around people like herself.
Exactly.
And then she may be able to handle it better because then she got that support. She'll be like, oh, okay.
And she'll be doing the same thing.
And she'll be doing the same thing.
Exactly. She'll be working and she'll be going to school to get certified.
That's right.
But and it won't be overwhelming. Exactly.
Because it won't be full time because sometimes, guys, we work in our pajamas. Sometimes we work at home, and then you set your own time, to go out. It's not like a 9-to-5 job. It's flexible. I'm able to go out there like today. I did 2 jobs already, and then I'm still here at the interview. See how flexible it is?
Exactly.
So, so it's very a flexible job, and it also helps you stay on your toes. And also sure that you're taking care of yourself, self-care, taking your medication, going to the doctor's appointment, and still living, you know, in the community and not in a facility.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this right here. Do you sometimes regret about what happened, or do you feel as though that this was something that you had to go through, what you went through with your family, in order to get you to this point right here, and you appreciate basically what God put you through?
Well, I did not see myself here. I knew my child was going to be special because I would have a major issue with him in my womb, you know, with his moving and stuff. You know, he was a very, very active child. Then when he came out, before he was a year, and I can't say I'm ashamed to say it, but, you know, I used to cuss a very, very lot. Very lot. And when he was 6 months, he already using cuss words, big cuss words. When he was 6 months, them were his first words. And I knew then we were going to have issues. But my sister said, that's my baby. You know, she and I were pregnant at the same time, and she lost her baby. And when she woke up, she found out she couldn't have no more. So my mom made me agree to share my children with her. So that was her baby. So she felt like she can handle him, you know, and deal with him. He was a handful to both of us. So, but with his behaviors, I still did not see myself doing this work. I didn't know what this work is until I couldn't work no more.
So when he got older, was your sister still involved, or when she found out about the mental problem, did she step back and let you handle everything, or was that still her baby?
I'm not gonna say she stepped back because that's still her baby. Regardless, they bump heads now. You know, but you know, she stepped back for me to do what I need to do because I had the resources. But that's still her baby. You know, she still was there. You know, but I handled the most of the things that I learned and trained about mental health. I don't regret it. That I'm here. I don't regret that I went through what I went through. I'm thankful that I went through what I went through because I was able to save my child. Have I not got trained in none of this stuff, my child could have been killed. Anywhere down the line, having these behaviors, and I'm calling 911, not knowing what I'm asking for.
Exactly.
And any cop could have came.
Yeah,
and
because
shot
they
my
don't
child.
exactly because they don't know anything about it. Exactly. So
And
y'all make sure that y'all pay attention to that. What she said. What's the 2 words that you tell when you calling for a cop that knows?
Asking for a trained mental health officer. What they call it now is CIT trained officer. That is Crisis Intervention Team Officer through NAMI, Georgia. And so NAMI is now taking the initiative to train officers in the state of Georgia. And so now what they're doing is they including parents on the team to train. And that's something I'll be going this week to be trained to be able to help them train officers and knowing how to handle our children. So now they're getting the parents involved in the table around mental health, even at the state level, local level. A lot of child serving agencies are now bringing us on board to help identify how to help us. Not them telling us what we need, but for us to tell them what we need, what did work, what didn't work, and let's try something different.
Okay. And tell them what they can do about the training for us if they want their child to go to training, you know, to be certified, so they would know how to acknowledge that they are getting out of, basically, before they get out of control.
Yes, basically right now the best way is to call me, so that way I can make sure I assess to make sure that they are ready. I will not put your child out there knowing they are not ready. I would not put your child out there to fail. What I will do, I will continue working with you to get your child ready. Because not all Johnnies are ready, not all Susan are ready to be put out there. So we have to make sure we assess to make sure that they're ready, because I don't want to be a part of them failing. out here in the community. I want them to be successful. Once we let go the hands, Johnny and Susan know what to do.
So you can certify the child, or you can just assess them, so they can get certified. Can you certify them?
I can't certify them, but I can train them in my way on how to advocate for themselves.
Okay.
The way I train them is not required to have some type of instructor certification.
Okay.
To train them how to advocate for themselves, we can sit right here on this couch, and I can spend that one-on-one time with them and train them how to advocate for themselves.
Okay.
I could train the parents on how to advocate for their child right here on this couch. There's no certification required for me to help Johnny to advocate.
So what are the things that you can certify people in?
The youth mental health first aid.
Okay.
Now that I can certify them in. Now I can do anger management and parenting. You get a certificate saying that you attended. With the anger management, most people come to me because they court order.
Yeah.
They have to have it through the court.
So y'all hear that now? Y'all get court ordered for anger management. She can certify you.
Yes, I can get you the certificate that will take back to the judge so that you completed the 12.
And make sure y'all pay attention too when she be training.
Oh, baby, they don't have no choice but to pay attention. I'm firm when I need to be firm. Yes. But I'm nice. I try to make it exciting and fun for you, so it won't be a bored moment, because I throw little jokes in there. I like to have fun. I like to act out, So it will not be a bored moment, because I go sleep on you while I'm standing there teaching you if I don't act out. So I'm trying to make it fun. I call that couch potato therapy. I don't do that.
Exactly.
No. I got to make it fun for you and myself so we both can get through that process.
Okay. So how do your husband feel? And your husband, that's both of y'all child, right? Your son?
No, that's not his biological child, but yes, that is his son.
Okay.
He been in my son's life since he was 2.
Okay.
He raised my son, so yes, that is his child.
Okay.
It's not his biological child, but since he was 2, he called him dad. Only time when he called my husband by his real name, when he very, very pissed with my husband. And I hadn't heard him call my husband by his first name, maybe, my son 24, so maybe 3 times in his 24 years of life.
So did that ever cause any problems between you and your husband? Now, when that started happening for his acting out in class, get suspended from school, did that cause problems to the point to where y'all almost separated or did separate?
I'm so glad you asked that question. Okay, so my husband and I got married in 2000. 2000, you guys, listen to me. 2000. And I started getting help in 2007. So that's 7 years later. Okay? So people used to tell me, single parents, well, Melissa, you should have it easy. You got a husband at home. I'm like, shit, where he at? Because he was not helping me. Me and my son could be in the next room tearing walls down completely. My husband would not step in. He act like he did not hear nothing.
But do you think that he probably did that because he didn't want any type of confusion between y'all, because he felt as though that is your child and he didn't want to overstep his boundaries by trying to discipline your child? He
had someone in his ear say, you better not touch that child, because if you touch that child, she can have you arrested, da-da-da-da. So what I had to do was tell my husband, you are the man of this house. My son have to respect you as his father, as the provider, as the man of this house. And I think it had got to the point in 2009, I had got so fed up where I got sick. I was seeing a psychiatrist, a therapist, and a primary care doctor. Well, I was being carried now into the school by both arms. Somebody on this side, my husband on this side. And I'm like, you know what? When it got to the point where I started stating that I could take my son out and take myself out because I was done. Me and my son don't supposed to be here right now. Because I'll fit to take us both out, literally.
So basically, your husband stepping in to be the man.
Yes.
And
Took over.
And put his foot down. That actually helped you with the situation, because basically a young man is more quickly to listen to
Yes.
the grown up.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand that they might, you know, be fighting at the beginning, but eventually when they know that you genuinely care,
Yes.
they're going to listen. Because one thing about it, a child can tell when somebody really care about them. Mm-hmm. And a child knows that you don't have to if you're not there.
Yes. Yeah.
You get, so
I tell you right now, you would never know my child's not his.
Mm-hmm.
That's his daddy. You better not mess with his daddy. And you better not mess with his son. Mm-hmm. Them two like two peas on pot. If my husband and I have any issues, mm-hmm. guess whose side my son gonna be on?
That's good. That's good.
My son had called the police on me about my husband. Mm-hmm. When we had an issue years ago, he called police on his mom because that's his daddy.
Yeah.
You don't mess with his daddy.
Mm.
So once my husband stepped in, but what saved us was my son, the school was sending us to juvenile court very often. So he had a probation officer. And at the time her name was Octavia Bright. Her name now Octavia Sutton. I would always say this because I'm thankful for that lady. Because if it weren't for her, his probation officer, y'all, there are some good probation officers out there that genuinely care about your child. If they scorn you, put you in your place, that's a good probation officer. Because what she did for me, when I was wrong, she held me accountable. When he was wrong, she held him accountable. It was days when my son was out there in the yard playing basketball, and if she rolled by the house and she seen him pounding that basketball goal, she had on heels one day. She stopped that car. She went out there to play basketball with him to find out what was going on with him. Mm-hmm. And that was awesome with him. Mm-hmm. That helped him. And she the one got me into all these training. She the one connected me to connect with this agency to send me to Washington, D.C. to get these trainings.
So where is his birth father?
He passed away earlier this year, but he never been in his life. My son met him one time when he was 21, I think.
Okay.
Met him one time for the first time. Heard his voice for the first time when he was 16. And my husband and I tried to pay for him to come to Georgia, pay the whole expense a week for him to just spend time with him, because that was one of my son's issues too. He wanted to know who he was and meet him, but he wasn't willing to come. And at the time, he was physically able to travel and come. But when my son met him for the first time, he was paralyzed from here on down, where he couldn't feed himself, he couldn't go to the bathroom, he couldn't walk, he couldn't do none of that. So when my son met him, and he like, okay. He like, why is I'm here? My father is in Georgia. And he did not want to go back and see the man. When his biological father passed, he didn't want to go to the funeral. He said, I don't know that man. He said, my father is not dead. My dad is not dead. My dad is in the house. So he did not want to go.
So let me, what I'm feeling right now is basically he was kind of acting out because his father wasn't around. So when your husband stepped up to be as his father, it calmed him down because he felt like he had a father.
Yes.
Because it's one thing that a child can do. Children can tell when, you know, it's a lot of people that get in relationships with people and they don't have no type of interaction with their children. And now that child, you're putting your child in a situation to where they feeling neglected. They feeling neglected by you, and they feeling neglected by that other person. When that other person can easily come into their life and show them that they're there for them.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand that anytime you go into relationships and stuff and that person is not sociable towards your children, that affects your child. Your child
Yes.
feels that. Your child feels that negative energy,
Yes.
you know, and they know what's going on, whether they tell you or not. And it's going to affect them in the long run.
Yes.
You know, because they're going to feel as though you don't care enough about them because you got this person around them that don't care about
Don't
them.
care.
You know,
Yeah,
so
either they serious.
Exactly.
They wake up, they ain't got no milk for they cereal.
exactly. You know, so
But yeah, my husband and my son, they are a great pair. In the midst of my son's behaviors, when my husband did step in, he taught him how to be a mechanic. My son know how to work on cars. My husband is a mechanic. He know how to fix houses. He know how to fix plumbing. He loved destroying stuff, so now he helped
fix it.
landlord tear walls and stuff down, evictions. He loved fishing. That was one of the things that helped me to find your child's strength, work on that strength, build on that strength. I don't care what it is.
And for his fishing too, it takes patience.
Yes.
So it especially dealing with mental health, that right there is like a relaxation
Yes.
time right there. They still doing something productive, but their mind is relaxing and they are able to focus and just
Yes.
meditate.
Yes.
You know, I love going fishing and stuff because being around the water,
Yes.
you know, is meditation.
Yes. And we're going to go back to police officers. I know a lot of people think there's bad police officers and good police officers. I had police officers that gave me their personal cell phone number. If I had issue with him, do not call 911, call me, and they'll come help. They knew when they seen my son on the bicycle, he had fishing poles standing up. They knew exactly where his hangout spot was. Choose your battle, parents. Do not fight every issue. Every issue is not worth the battle. Choose your battle. My son, I could drop him off at a fishing bank, and if he ain't got to go to school, guess what? I ain't going to be able to get him away from that fishing bank. He be out there till 10 o'clock at night. And guess what? The security guard he used to go to Hunter Park. The security guard at Hunter Park knew who he was. The police knew who he was. And they'll be like, okay, when he get tired, he'll go home. You know, he was 12. He wasn't supposed to be out that late, but they knew that he had a mental health disorder. And they knew what kept him calm. And long he was there at that fishing pond, he was not going to bother anyone. So therefore, the security at the park and the police, they did not bother him. They did not bother me as a parent for allowing my child to be out that late. He knew how to ride his bicycle on the sidewalk to get himself back safe. We made sure he had safe gears. And when one police officer see him, they'll probably dispatch a hey, the young man on his way home, they'll make sure he home safely. When he was at school, in high school, they knew at Dulles County High School, they knew he had a disability. And the police officer there named Mr. Jackson. He knew on the radio, he got a call, he already knew who it was. They had a book like this there, where if he feel like he couldn't handle it no more, if he stayed there an hour, they won. Everybody won if he stayed an hour. So he'll tell the officer, take me home. So the officer said, okay, go ahead and sign your book and I'll take you home. Instead of taking him to jail for acting out, they already knew that he could only handle so much time. And so this officer was his safe base, where he said, call Officer Jackson. And he called him, he already know who it is. And he said, come on, get in the car, I'll drop you off, he go back to the school. You have to build that relationship with officers, with school, with everybody else. Teachers,
coaches,
everybody,
principals,
everybody.
You know, everybody.
And you know, and I can admit that I was one of those parents that hated the school, because I thought I blamed them for my son's
It's a lot
behavior.
of people do that.
Yes.
It's
But
yeah.
I had to learn how to pick my battle with them too. And I had to learn how to educate them too. Because they're there to teach education, not know about mental health. But you know what, as parents, we have to teach them as well.
And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of teachers, they tend to stop caring. Most teachers become a teacher just because they care. And they want to, you know, be that source to help. A lot of teachers stop caring because they run into so many parents that
like
when they
myself.
try to tell their child, the parent about the child and what the child is doing, y'all get all up in the teacher face like they lying on your child and stuff, because trust and believe what you think your child won't do, a lot of times when they're away from you, they are doing it.
Yes.
You know, so try to find out the truth. Even if you got to talk to some of the other kids or some of the other parents, find out what's really going on instead of just running up in the teacher face. You just because your child done said, my teacher said did this. Find out what happened. What did you do? Because I'm telling you, I was so bad. I hit a teacher one time. For real, I hit a teacher knocked across the room. You know, and basically they couldn't tell. I couldn't tell my parents that I didn't do it because they knew. Rosita will do something like that. But what did you do to make her do that? That's why that's the question that they would ask. Because I was taught not to start nothing but finish it. So they knew that I wasn't going to start it. I might go to an extreme on some stuff. And you might be like, okay, well, that was little, so why did you get way up here and then way down there? But they knew that I would do that. But they knew that I'm not going to start anything. I just take extreme measurements upon it. So my parents would listen to what the teacher said, but at the same time they was like, okay, well, what happened that made her do this right here? It's a way to handle situations and stuff and get to the bottom of things. You know, instead of just running up in front of, to the teachers and hollering and screaming that my child said you did this, my child did that. Find out what your child did, find out what their teacher did, and handle it in a professional way. You know. So, anything else that you want to add on to it?
No, just if you guys ever need an assistant, if you have any questions, anything, you could call me at 404-437-5973, and I have Miss Rosita put my information on there as well, where you guys can contact me. You get me better through text because I don't always answer my phone, especially if I don't know the answer, because we're going to talk the second segment about something else. The reason why I don't always answer my phone, but I still, I will respond back to you. You can get me on Facebook. My name is Melissa Alford on Facebook. I'm going to be honest with you. I have so many friend requests that I delete. So if you want to get in touch with me, it's best to inbox me and say, hey, I seen you on Silk Show Living Your Dreams with Rosita, and I would love to connect with you. I need help with my child. I need some resources or something like that. I have a website that has a lot of resources, and I need to update it some more. But you can get some resources there as well, and that's www.faogainc.com. And so you can find resources there. But again, you can get me better on Facebook at Melissa Alford. And we will try to get you resources. I'll try to answer the questions. If I cannot help you, I guarantee you I can find somebody that can. I'm very resourceful, and that's what we're about, is resources.
Exactly. So thank y'all so much, and we're going to be right back with the second part of this interview. And thank y'all for tuning in. Peace
and you guys don't want to miss that second segment.
You don't want to miss that second part. Like I said, it was all over the news. So, So stay tuned in. Peace and love.